But yeah, the CEO, the LCEO, um, uh, they've captured the shooter. So the NYPD, is it the commissioner or the mayor, has come out and he's put out a statement. So we're gonna go watch what he has to say. Um, I listen and I put my 2 pence in every now and then. So just listen to what he has to say, and then I'll put my 2 pence in right after. Do-do-do-do-do.
Afternoon,
Good afternoon.
and I'm joined here today by our Chief of Detectives and the Police Commissioner and Chief of Department because we have a strong person of interest in the shooting that shook our city last week. CEO Brian Thompson of United Healthcare was the victim of a senseless act of violence. Our officers have been working around the clock. Many of them uh, did not go home to pursue this individual. It was crucial that we were able to remove him off the streets of America, and we were going to seek him out no matter where he was at the time. And so this is a strong person of interest. The police commissioner and chief of detectives will go over where we are right now in the investigation. He matches the description of the identification we've been looking for. He's also in possession of several items that we believe will connect him to this incident. How did we do it? Good old fashioned police work. Uh, the chief of detectives and the police commissioner made the decision to release as much of a photo that we had at the time. We sent it across the country, and someone, a McDonald's employee, did something we ask every American to do. If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something. And they did. And because of that, we believe we have a strong person of interest to deal with this case. I want to now turn it over to the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, Commissioner Tisch.
I got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube without ever even showing my face, and I got all of these awards right here, and I'm inviting you to a completely free training where you can discover exactly how to do this step by step. I'm going to show you 3 different secrets for doing this, and I'm going to show you how I got play buttons just like this without ever even
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Earlier this morning in Altoona, Pennsylvania, members of the Altoona Police Department arrested Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old male, on firearms charges. At this time, he is believed to be our person of interest in the brazen targeted murder of Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, last Wednesday in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect was in a McDonald's and was recognized by an employee who then called local police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person, as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual. Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID, matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset.
So yeah, everything it's starting to unfold now, people. So let's see. I know, because everybody wants to know why why has he done something like this? Why? That's the only question that a lot of people want to know. Why has he done something like this? What's the motive? What's behind it? So let's listen up to hear what she has to say.
NYPD detectives are en route to Pennsylvania as we seek to interview the subject further. This apprehension is thanks to the tireless work of the greatest detectives in the world, and of course, the strong relationships we have with our local law enforcement partners on every level, local, state, and federal. We all serve the same public safety mission. And this case, which captured the attention of an entire nation, is another example of how connected we are and how important it is to work together, share information, and pursue every lead. For just over 5
We knew that they would have caught him. I knew that they weren't, they knew a bit more than they were letting on, and I knew that they would have caught him somewhere. And the thing is, you wonder, why is he still in the city? Is he gonna go do another one or something? Why was he still in the city?
5 days, our NYPD investigators combed through thousands of hours of video.
Or was he caught in a different city? They said they were going Pennsylvania, so yeah, it was in a different city. That's where they caught him.
Followed up on hundreds of tips and processed every bit of forensic evidence, DNA, fingerprints, IP addresses, and so much more to tighten the net. We deployed drones, canine units, and scuba divers. We leveraged the domain awareness system, Argus cameras, and conducted aviation canvasses. And our detectives also went door to door, interviewing potential witnesses and doing the good old-fashioned police work that our investigators are famous for. This combination of old school detective work and new age technology is what led to this result today. And we must also acknowledge the instrumental role the media and the public played in this case. The images that we shared with the public were spread far and wide, and the tips we received led.
Some people sharp like razor, because a lot of people would have probably seen him even in the McDonald's and didn't even remember him. But this worker was on point.
To the recovery
Now,
of
shout out to the worker. He was on point. Congratulations.
Crucial evidence. We should never underestimate the power of the public to be our eyes and our ears in these investigations. This is the third time in 3 weeks that a member of the public has seen something and said something and done something that led to a high-profile arrest.
Funny enough, I was in New York. I think it was last week. Last week I was in New York, and you could see the same thing was written up all over the place. You know what she just said? Say something and do something. You could see it written all over the place. You know what I mean? And a lot of people take them things seriously.
The triple stabbing homicide in Manhattan, the gunpoint robberies in Queens, during which an NYPD officer was shot, and now this. Now, the case will continue through the criminal justice process. And while we are proud of today's accomplishment, we must, of course, remember that a family is in mourning. I want to again extend my sympathies to Brian's family, his co-workers, and all who knew him. Finally, I want to thank the women and men of the NYPD, especially our Detective Bureau personnel, with a strong assist from our intelligence analysts. We also thank the SAC of the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division, Leslie Rodriguez-Bekshies. And I want to commend the staff of the Manhattan DA's office, and especially DA Alvin Bragg. He has been working with us 24/7 on this case, and I am incredibly grateful for his partnership. I'll now pass it along to our great Chief of Detectives, Joe Kenny, who will provide additional information. Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon.
So the city can have a sigh of relief that he's not out there, and he's not out there after someone else, because, I just want to know why. What's the motive? Why did he do it? And I think that's what everybody wants to know.
As the Commissioner stated earlier, a male was taken into custody today in Altoona, Pennsylvania this morning. He has been identified as Luigi Nicholas Mangione. He's a male, 26 years old. He was born and raised in Maryland. We know he has ties to San Francisco, California, and his last known address was Honolulu, Hawaii. He has no prior arrest history in New York. Members of the NYPD Detective Bureau are currently traveling to Pennsylvania with members of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office to interview this subject. This case was brought to a successful conclusion based on the coordinated effort between numerous NYPD units, including the Intelligence and Counterterrorism Bureau, our federal partners at the FBI, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and of course, members of the Altoona Police Department in Pennsylvania. On Thursday, one day after this crime was committed, the NYPD released a photo of the shooter in this case. This picture was obtained by the NYPD during one of their extensive video canvasses. We took that photograph and we asked for the public's help in identifying this subject, and the public responded. Hundreds of tips began to pour into our hotline. Each tip was investigated thoroughly, and we began to release additional photographs as they came into our possession. The NYPD provided these photos to numerous media outlets. Local, national, and international outlets released the photo via television.
They went all out, trust me. Like I said, this is a CEO in Manhattan. You get what I mean? One of the most busy some of the, in New York, Manhattan is busy right through. And for this to happen there, a lot of tourists and stuff like that, they were gonna put extra effort in it and to protect the people, their community.
Print, social media, and online content. Luckily, a citizen in Pennsylvania recognized our subject and called local law enforcement. Members of the Altoona Police Department responded to the call, and based on their investigation, they notified the NYPD. This investigation is still active and ongoing,